Welcome back, YouTube. This is your boy Blitzwave here. Today is a very special day. Well, not a special day for nobody, not for me or anybody. So a guy, I'm just gonna get straight to the point. A guy was killed. For those who don't know, I live in Memphis, Tennessee. A man was brutally beaten to death and killed. Well, he wasn't killed, but he was beaten to death. He died. I think they say he died 3 days after of them beating him to death. You can go on YouTube and look up the video of the description and what happened. But yeah, I live in Memphis, Tennessee. Sorry about my hair right now. I haven't had a chance to do it. I just got up like 2 hours ago. One thing I did was just fix me some breakfast, but we're gonna worry about the hair later. But yeah, man. I remember when I was a kid, I was like 12, 11 years old. I wanted to be a cop. I was like, man, being a cop sounds like it'll be fun. You know, you could eat donuts, pull people over, get them tickets, interrogate them and all that stuff. Now being a cop, it's like they're drug dealers. They either drug dealers or there are people who were in jail and they're just letting them be cops. Like they're like actual criminals are being the law now. And I have a friend whose dad is a cop right now. He still is a cop. Been a cop for like 10 years. And he told me that the way they train the officers now is not how they train them back in the day. Back in the day, they used to go to Pacific training. Like for one, there was he was telling us how like sometimes you don't have to always abide by the book. You know, they have like this big ass law book apparently they keep with them, and some officers like I'm trying to think like the way he worded it sounds crazy because it's the same way I would have worded it, but I think he worded it more than I did. He said sometimes you gotta learn how to be a human being and sit the book down and just be like, okay, I can relate and understand where this dude is coming from. Now that people are seeing that and by the way, these are 5 black cops, by the way. They're in Memphis. They were in jail. They was charged with attempted murder, but they made bond, so they got out. So obviously they still gotta go to court, all yada yada, and now they said they're gonna start a riot because they got out of jail. They shouldn't have got out of jail because they just killed a man, and you know, Black Lives Matter, all that stuff, yada yada. I don't really care too much for Black Lives Matter, but this is ridiculous. Like if you go watch the video, I would show the video, but it's just too much violence and too much cursing. But you can look it up. Just type in Memphis police, Tyre Nichols, and it'll pop straight on up. You'll see exactly what happened. So basically, they beat him to death, shot him. They beat him to death, and then they tased him, then shot him. And then you can hear them in the background talking like they caught a criminal, but the whole time the dude is like literally yelling out for his mama. He's calling his mama. If you watch the video, he's calling out for his mom. Man, this is crazy. Nuts. When I heard about this, I was like, this is crazy. Then nobody, and then the other 2 cops that got there, they just sitting there watching. They like, what happened? Like what? That's why they're in trouble. They getting charged with the same thing because they got there and didn't do anything. They just looked and it was just like, what's going on? What happened? And so right now it's not looking too good to be a Memphis police officer. Sorry for you Memphis cops out there. It's gonna be real hard now. Because now when people get pulled over in Memphis, they don't know what the cops don't do now. It's bad enough y'all had heat on y'all for about the last 2 years now? Now it's back on you again? Oh my God. But we're gonna check out one of these videos real quick. See my boy Tyrone Madison had to say about
I gotta tell you, I saw a clip this morning, and I scrolled past it. I saw a little bit of it, and it's weird because I'm so used to seeing this stuff. I saw police brutality. I saw police officers holding a guy, and one would take a turn hitting him, and another would take a turn hitting him. I was like, this is crazy. And I just kept scrolling. And then, I would say maybe a half hour later, all of a sudden now I'm seeing headlines about stuff and people saying what happened to that man was disgusting, and those cops need to be put in prison. And I just was like, wait a minute, did this have to do with that piece of a clip that I saw? So then I went looking for it, and I gotta tell you, I couldn't watch the whole thing. I could not watch the whole thing. Those policemen definitely deserve life, as far as I'm concerned, from what I've seen.
Yeah, so I didn't want to say they deserve life because I just want to get other people's opinions. But I know a lot of people in the comments gonna say they probably deserve to get life. Some of them should be thrown in jail. I do agree they do need to be put in jail. They do not need to be let out on bond. I don't even know how they became cops. I honestly do not know. I was able to watch the full video, but it was sad. It was really, really sad. It's like they were hunting this dude, like he was an animal. If you gotta watch the video, you gotta watch the video.
From what I know so far, life
in prison.
There better be just as big of an uproar for when a white cop kills a black man over these black men that killed the black man. When I heard about it,
I just want to point out to you guys, these cops, they are out. Tyrone Madison doesn't live in Memphis. I forgot where he lives. I know he lives somewhere. I think he hopefully, correct me if I'm wrong, Tyre Madison. I'm sorry if I butchered where you live. I'm not really sure. But I think he lives somewhere either in Texas or Florida or California. I could be wrong. Them three spots. Probably somewhere else, but probably them 3 areas. But yeah, they got out on bond. I think they all paid a bond. But from what I heard, they're still going to court for this stuff because they're still being under investigation because they don't know what happened, what transpired. What I'm thinking is that they're finna try to find something negative about Tyre Nichols, like he was doing drugs or he was a criminal or he was on. From what I did research on, the man is actually clean. The only thing he had on him was a disability. Like, I forgot what it was, but he had a disability problem. That was it. But the way they treated him was not the way you treat a person or any human being. Like, they just kept shouting at him, yelling at him, even though he was doing everything that they were saying. Hands behind his back, laying on the ground, and they just kept beating him. And then they tased him. He's like, look, my hands are behind my back. What else do you want me to do with it? Like, put the handcuffs on me or something. Like, goddamn. Like, it's funny. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They didn't put the handcuffs on him. If you watch the video, they're like telling him to put his hands behind his back. The man had his hands behind his back for the longest. Usually once you get your hands behind your back, the handcuffs go on, right? Nah, they jump on his back, sit on his back, beating him and punching him, taking turns hitting him. Then somebody tased him. Then they start shooting him. I'm like, what? What? How did all that escalate from that one scene? Like, come on, y'all. Oh my God.
Finally start to see the headlines. I was like, oh, this is another, probably some white cops killed a black man. No, it wasn't. And when I saw it, I was like shocked. And I was just like, I was like, what? Wait a minute. So, this is one of the reasons why I say that cops need better mental evaluations. I know not the majority of cops are like this, but these, whatever percentage it is that are like this, I mean, you're letting psychopaths loose to police the people.
Prime is more expensive than ever, but I just discovered a money-saving alternative. Are you still using Prime? At this point, it's the dinosaur of online shopping, but what if I told you there's a new, exciting alternative? The best part is, the discounts are even better than Amazon Prime. We all love getting a good deal, but do we ever stop to consider what we use to find those deals and whether or not it's actually the best option? Like you, I was bored of the old websites that promise great deals but rarely deliver and thought, how do I even know whether
people to protect and serve. You're letting sociopaths and psychopaths loose on. Let me tell you something. I got a former friend who wanted to be a cop so bad. And listen, I grew up with certain dudes that became cops, and I've noticed just from dealing with certain cops. And look, I got buddies that are cops, so there's plenty of good guys that are cops. But I have met guys that it's like you can tell they were bullied, or you can tell they were a bully and just wanted to continue to have that power to put people in fear, to hurt people, to scare people, to kill people. And police and military, they need better mental evaluations. And they continued as the career got a few months in. You know what I mean? And every few months, you need to be evaluated seriously, and not people.
Sorry about that. I wasn't trying to let that ad play, but yeah, man, it's messed up what happened to that dude. It's just sometimes, bro, you got to put the book down. Forget that logbook. I know they train them to read the logbook, like to understand all the laws and shit, and all that good stuff, but still, man, you're still human. You're just as human as that dude is. Yet you're gonna kill him. You know? It's just all about being a human being. Sometimes you have to know when to apply the law and when to be a human. You know, that's what it's about. It's like they're not like nobody's not saying cops have to be perfect, obviously. But you do have to know what it's like to be a human being. You don't know what that's like, you can't be a cop. You got to know when to apply the law and when to use the law. But anyways.
Just letting you go just because we're all in the family type of shit. I heard that man screaming. They tased and they were beating him. But they say it took like a half hour or something or 15, 20 minutes for the medics to arrive, and they took him to the hospital when he died like a day later from his injuries or something like that. And don't send me any links to anybody's channels that are trying to explain away or justify why it happened. Don't even do that, because I won't be watching them anyway. Every time something like this happens, certain people will send me links to people that are former police or former security guards that only preach what they learned in their handbook. Well, the handbook says here on page 136, according to Law 147, that if this happens, we must do this. They always blame it on this is protocol. None of them ever have none of them ever express having humanity in them, a conscience in them. These are what soldiers, these are the excuses that soldiers gave from Germany when they were asked, why'd you do it? So they've always got something. I'm sure they'll try to dig up something on this guy. Like he stole a bike when he was 12 or something like that to somehow justify it. But maybe not, because this is black cops that did it, not white cops. So I've started to notice a trend in the news with certain things. I'm going to do more research on this, and I'm going to watch more stuff and what people think. But only by people that seem to have a good head on their shoulders and not ruled by their handbook or their training in the academy. I had a cop that I used to work with, and he gave me he showed me a few things, and he was talking to me a few things. He showed me how interrogation works. And I thought that was very interesting because the way he did it, like I didn't expect him to do it, but he got like really in my face. And he showed a different side to him that I had never seen working with him. And he showed me how people interrogate. And I was sitting there like when he did it, I was like, Jesus, it's a little uncomfortable, man. He said, that's part of it. You got to make people uncomfortable. And, so he was explaining the psychology of it. But he was talking to me about the training. And he was just like, train the guys like they used to. Because this guy was older. And he was like, they train them to be afraid and scared. And that's why these guys are so, quote unquote, trigger happy. Like they got an itchy gun. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? Like, and he was explaining stuff to me, and I thought it was very interesting. And this guy was a white cop, and was kind of buddy with and I would loosely say that. I would see him out with groups of friends all the time, and he was really, really cool guy. This cop was white. But then there's a black cop that went to my gym. Me and him talked all the time. Real intelligent dude. And he said to me, whenever people get along really well right away, they say that they're usually within a few IQ points of each other. And he was a really intelligent dude, so I think he was kind of like telling me, yeah, we're both smart, bro. And, he was a physical specimen. You know what I mean? Like, really great shape, and, you could tell he could handle himself, and, he wasn't a give me a reason type of cop either. He spoke to me about certain situations, like how he saw one time, he was sitting in his car, and he saw a couple fighting, having an argument, but he said that he saw the girl start to hit him, and then say some stuff and run in the house.
You're not gonna scare us. Scared you?
If I'm taking you with me, you do what I say when I say it.
Like she was gonna call the cops and blame it on him and stuff like that. And so when he got to the door, the guy was like, yo, man, I ain't do. And he said, I heard her. I was sitting down the street. I saw what she said. So don't worry. I don't. So the guy's kind of like, thank you. Because, a lot of times, a woman calls the cops on the guys and, and they believe it. So anyway, I'm going to look more into this, but these dudes better not get off. I heard that they all got fired. And have been charged with secondary manslaughter. It should be first degree. Jesus. Like I said, I'm gonna look more into it, but I'm giving you my first thoughts on it. I'm getting ready to leave the house, but I know y'all want me to speak on this, so I'm speaking on it. It was sick. It was sick. It really bothered me to see it, and it makes me think in certain situations, like where we've had, travesties like this.
But you guys know what's crazy though? If a woman called a cop on a guy, they automatically take the guy to jail. And I had a situation where I had a friend. I know what Tyre Nichols is talking about too. I literally had a friend. He had just got off work. It was late at night. He came home and the girl was beating on him. He had scratches, bruises all on him. And when the cops get there, you would think they were gonna take him to jail, right? Because she called and lied to the cops and all this, yada yada yada. And they get there, she don't have a scratch on her. They look at him like, dang, man, you bloody and bruised and everything. He's like, yeah, man, my girlfriend just started beating the shit out of me. And they take her to jail. They're like, because from I was told from my friend's dad cop, but what he told us is the way it works is when the police get a disturbance abuse call, what happened is they usually takes the person that doesn't have bruises or scratches on, that's who they take to jail. That's how it worked. And I was like, wow. But at the same time, it's pretty smart because it's like, well, technically, yeah, it makes sense. Like, you take the person that doesn't have the bruises and scratches to jail because you don't know if the girl did it or not, just to be on the safe side. But that's why they tell boys don't hit girls, because as long as you don't hit them, the cops get there, they're going to look at the girl, will be looking at you and be like, okay, she doesn't have a bruise on her, she goes to jail. So that means because not only is she facing charges for lying, for calling the police, she's facing domestic abuse violence charges, and she's facing something else they're facing. It's another charge. I think they get like 4 charges. Oh, false calling the police. Like, you false called the police and lied to them and told them that, hey, this man is hitting me, he's threatening my life, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you can go to jail for that too.
And I remember the Hodge twins actually speaking on something. I forgot who they were talking about, but it was like, look, if we had seen it was like, we're patriots. We would have handled it. And I see that happening sooner or later, erupting. I see the people, sooner or later, there's going to be a situation where there's going to be a couple of cops or whatever, and they're going to be brutalizing somebody, and
people are going to step in.
People that take MMA, I could see a couple of dudes putting the cops to sleep and getting the guy out of there so that they don't kill him. I could see that happening. I really could. There's a mob of people all around you. You know what I mean? I've seen it where there's situations happening, and I'm just like, there's so many people here. Somebody could have grabbed the cop and threw the gun, or somebody could have did something to prevent these people from dying, from being beaten to death, or from being shot or tased to death, or would have choked to death. There's enough people, they could have did something. I'm not saying hurt the police, but I'm saying stop the situation from happening. You get what I'm saying? So, I don't know. But, post.
Yeah, man, it's messed up. Like I said, it's really, really tragic, bro. Especially it happened in my city. Like, from what I heard, when all my friends, we were talking about this in Discord, they actually said it didn't happen far away from our house. Like, it happened literally like 30, 25 minutes away, because East Memphis is back that away. Yeah, on that side, going towards back Germantown to Cordova and stuff. So it was like, man, it's messed up, bro. I want to say it's very dangerous to be a cop now. You know what I'm saying? You cops, y'all might want to watch y'all back, man, because it don't look too good right now, Memphis police officers. I'm just saying, watch y'all back, man, because Y'all just got the heat taken off of y'all. Now y'all get what I'm saying, bro. They just got the heat taken off of them. Now the heat is back on them because they just got done with Black Lives Matter. Now y'all giving them a reason to come back. Literally, you're giving them a reason to come back now, and now they coming to Memphis. And then the worst thing about this is Martin Luther King's birthday just passed. Not only did his birthday just pass, Martin Luther King came to Memphis. Memphis is, born from soul for Martin Luther King because he was, came down here. Now they really gonna be down here acting crazy. They probably gonna burn Walmart down, or burn Target down, or burn the Wendy's down. I don't know what they're gonna burn down, but something's finna get burned down. We'll see. But I'm gonna do more research on it. Apparently they haven't released everything yet, so. They're doing I think they're still doing an investigation. Like, they're going around asking people, like, thoroughly what they saw and what happened. Because obviously those cops were making a lot of noise, especially if they're running around cursing and yelling and stuff. And they have body cams on. So I'm like, y'all got footage and evidence right there. It's like, do the cops turn the cameras off or something? I don't think they should be able to, but hey. But from what they said, he did nothing wrong. He broke not a single law, from what the police chief said, what our police chief said in Memphis. He broke not a single law. And from what they're doing the research on him, because you know what they're trying to find something bad about him on his background. They're trying to say what he did. That's why they did what they did. But they're not going to find anything. The guy's dead, so they killed him. Yeah. I don't know, bro. I don't even want to be a cop anymore because I didn't want to be a cop anymore like 3 years ago once I knew cops were corrupt. But man, post comments down below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all get this video a like and thumbs up, and stay safe out there, man. Hope you guys are doing nice out there in y'all cities, man, because the world's going crazy, man. That's all I can say. Let's check this joint on out, y'all.